Hey, what's up, guys? It's Lewis at that Convention Guy Collectibles, and today we're going to do a recap of DragonCon. And I have a lot of weird kind of feelings about it. DragonCon is here in Atlanta. I'm about an hour north of Atlanta, so it's literally like my hometown convention, and yet I've never been. And one of the reasons I've never been is because they don't sell VIP tickets. Everyone is general admission. Now, well, that's not that big of a deal. When you're doing what I do, I might have 25, 30 autographs to get from 15, 16 different people. You can't really be in a general admission line. It just takes too long. You're not unable to get to everything. And that's why I've never attended. Without the ability to skip the lines, mathematically it just doesn't work for most conventions. If you're in a line for, let's say, Sean Astin for 3 hours, and then you try to go over to Elijah Wood's line, and you're in that line for 3 hours, that gives you like 2 to 3, maybe 4 people if you're lucky per day. In a convention that's normally Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that gives you about 12 people at max. Now, I also said 3-hour lines. There are some people that I have seen that are even longer. I was at a convention where Robert Englund, who played Freddy Krueger, he had lines that were like 8 hours long. So anyway, my point is, without the VIP ticket, I've always kind of stayed away from it. However, this year I had some family coming up, and I thought I was supposed to go to Fanboy Orlando. I canceled that because the family was coming. So I decided, hey, let me go check out DragonCon for the first time, see what it's like, without the VIP tickets. I did speak to a local collector like myself who does attend, and he said it wasn't that bad as far as getting the autographs. Like, it was doable. So I said, hey, let me check it out. So I've done conventions in Atlanta before. I did Fandemic, I did Walker Stalker Con, I did the Atlanta Comic Con this year. So I've been. So I went ahead, I booked a hotel room for right there at the convention center. Makes it nice and easy. One problem. DragonCon is not held at the convention center like all the other conventions. In fact, DragonCon is held throughout 5 downtown Atlanta hotels. I did not know that. Now, if you've ever been to DragonCon's website, it is unlike any of the other convention websites. First off, what I look for is when I go to the guests to see what celebrities are going to be there. Most conventions, you click on the guests, and it shows you a picture with a little bio or tells you what their main role was as you're going through. DragonCon, if you do the same thing, you're going to see just words. There's no pictures. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty good with actors' names, but I don't know them all. Sometimes I just know them by their character names. So having a picture is really important to know who's going to be there. Now, to their defense, they do have a separate section called Featured, but it doesn't show you everyone. It just shows you the featured ones. So there might be 35 of those, and those have pictures. But the other 60, 70, 80 guests or whatever they might have are not in there. So you just have to read their names and kind of know who they are. That's the one strike. The VIP tickets is the major reason I've never attended, because they don't offer VIP tickets. So everyone's general admission. But I decided let's do it. So anyway, I got the hotel room, convention center. It's not at the convention center, it's at the hotels. So as I look, I'm mapping everything, and the hotels are all pretty close together. They're about, 2, 3, 4 blocks away from each other, kind of creating this square. But it is downtown Atlanta, so traffic is already a little crazy down there. Now you add in thousands of people, and it becomes even crazier. Now, I was able to find a hotel, not one of those 5, but a hotel close by to that, that I could get a room. And the reason I did that is just because I bring a lot of stuff, and not knowing what parking was going to be like down there, and also how far everything really was. I wanted to be really close to everything so that I didn't have to walk a ton with all of the items that I'm getting signed. Because of my uncertainty, I did only bring about 30% of the items that I could have brought. I'm kind of glad I did, and I'll explain. So, everything was a little chaotic, as you can expect when you're running 5 different locations and 2 other buildings hosting events or items, vendors, that kind of stuff. So it was a little crazy. Lots and lots and lots of people in smaller spaces. Plus, you're in downtown Atlanta, so you're dealing with homeless people constantly on these roads. It was a lot. It was a lot. So my first day, I get there, and the valet at the hotel said that he was booked. He couldn't take my car, and I've never seen that before, so I was a little surprised. And as he said, just pull your car up for a second or whatever, and I pulled up, and then he was like, you know what? Somebody had just left, so he's going to take my car. I was a little concerned that my car would not be there when I got back, but he seemed legit, so my car was fine, by the way. But then, it was just weird stuff like, hey, you're on the 2nd floor, but you need to go up to the 2nd floor to get to your room. I didn't understand. And then my room was 296, and all the signs that were on that floor said up till 295. So I had to go back to the reception. She tells me I'm on floor 2, but I need to go up the stairs to get to the really floor 2. Don't take the elevator because I go straight to 3. And just follow the signs for 295, and 296 is after that. Okay, so anyway, that was just weird stuff. Head over to a hotel. Actually, in that hotel, I was able to get my ticket. The ticket was a long line, but it went pretty fast. Go to another hotel to go see what they call the Walk of Fame, or I don't even know. Basically where the celebrities are. Now, normally when you go to a convention, you go to a celebrity line, and they have really long lines, like taped out on the floor. And the idea is, it's like Disney World or any of these places, you have like a zigzagging line. So you kind of go up and then back down and up and back down until you get to the person. This one had that, but the space was so much smaller that rather than being within the tape lines, we actually stood on the tape lines. So we were all like kind of like that, shoulder to shoulder. And then they would come by and be like, everybody move up, move up. And we're like, what do you mean? Like, we're already cramped. But anyway, the lines were or the areas for the lines were much too small for the amount of people there. Moving on. The place was set up like an oval, and they only allowed one-way traffic. So what does that mean? So I walk in, and we're looking for what celebrities are there at that time. The doors had just opened up. It was about 1:30, 2 o'clock, and not all the celebrities were there yet. So as you start to walk, you would see the names of the guests that you want to see, but they weren't there. And then you would keep walking, and you'd find one that was. So you're like, okay, cool, let me get in that line. Well, now, while you're in that line, you notice that one of the people that you had already passed had come, but you weren't allowed to walk back to go to their booth. You had to go around the entire thing and then come back around. I felt like I was in NASCAR for quite a while. I mean, I just kept going in circles. I mean, I must have walked it, 20, 25 times. Because you're also checking to see if they've gotten there yet, so you keep walking around and walking around. And then, of course, because you're having to walk around, you're always in traffic, people traffic. A bunch of people are stopped in front of one celebrity's line. Now they're blocking the line, and now you're kind of having to wait and trying to, weave your way through. So it was difficult, but anyway, we got through it. So all in all, it wasn't terrible. However, I wouldn't probably do it again. And that's purely because they instead of renting the convention center and having everything under one roof, they go a cheaper route and have it across 5 different places. So for me, it's not too bad because I'm literally just going to the celebrity area to get autographs. However, I wanted to go shopping. The vendors are not there. They're in another place, another building. So you have to walk a few blocks to get to that. If you want to buy something there, you find something there, and you want to go get a sign, guess what? You got to now walk back 5 blocks, go back to where you were. So it was not as convenient as you would have liked. You know, I wanted something to eat. I had to leave that building, go somewhere else, find something to eat. So not the easiest setup for what I do, and I wouldn't imagine for what anyone does. If you are the type of person that likes, you know, I had friends going down for a dance class, swingers, and swingers dancing and stuff, not the other kind of swingers. Never mind. But that was in a whole other place. And if you wanted to do panels, that was in another place. And if you wanted to do photo ops, that was in another place. If you wanted the celebrities, for autographs, that was in another place. So if you're into doing all of the things that conventions have to offer, you're going to be traveling a lot. Now, they do have buses and shuttles that will take you from place to place if you can figure that out. I was looking at the maps and I was looking at the shuttle routes, and there was a blue, a purple, they had numbers, they had different things. I didn't know where to go, what to get, so I walked it. Now, luckily the weather wasn't too bad. It was kind of cooling down, but we are talking about like end of August, beginning of September in Atlanta. It's still hot, people. And it's hilly. It's not flat. You have to go up hills. And it was weird, too, because at one point, I walked like 4 blocks uphill, and I went to the vendors and all that stuff. And when I went to go back, somehow I ended up going back uphill to go back. And I don't understand how that's even, like, physics-wise possible. Is that the right word? Anyway, I don't know how that's possible, but I'm pretty sure I went uphill to get to someplace and uphill to get back to where I started. So, I don't know. What else can I tell you? It was cool. There was a lot of volunteers, there was a lot of helpers out there, which was nice. I just don't understand why it's not under one roof. I mean, I do understand that that's how they save money, I guess. It's cheaper to get 5 hotels than it is to get 1 convention center. But DragonCon has gotten big enough where they should be able to afford it. Like, make it more convenient for people like me. Now, I will say this. One of the benefits of having it in different places is that the only people in the celebrity area are people looking for the celebrities. At other conventions, if you're looking at merchandise, you inevitably end up walking in the celebrity area, creating more traffic and, clusters in the autograph area. So in that sense, it was nice because you were really only in that area if you were trying to be in that area. So for instance, I didn't have to wade through all of the vendors to go get an autograph because the vendors were in a completely different building. I didn't have to wade through everybody and through people that were trying to do cosplay or they were going to be at a panel, things like that, because those were in other areas. Now, the cosplay was everywhere, but there were also cosplay contests and different things that were held in other places. Cosplay meetups that were in other places. So from that aspect, it was nice. But I was there Friday. I was supposed to be there. I had a 5-day ticket, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, which I've never been to a convention that offers Monday, but this one does. I didn't go Saturday and Sunday. I left after Friday. I met with my consignment buddy, Chris Bond, and I basically said, listen, I'm willing to pay you to get my autographs for Saturday and Sunday, which were the Hobbits from Lord of the Rings, as well as Andy Serkis on Sunday. And so I gave him my items to take care of that. because I just didn't want to have to deal with the lines. I had seen where they were going to put Elijah Wood and Sean Astin, and the areas were so small that what they end up doing is putting an overflow of people somewhere else, and it just looked like it was going to be a nightmare for those guests. Now, the smaller guests weren't too bad. The lines were, not horrible. I think for Kari Payton, who many may know as King Ezekiel from The Walking Dead, or Cyborg from the DC Justice League cartoons and stuff, his line was probably the longest for me, and it was probably about 30 minutes. But I was only like number 20, 25 in the line. He had just gotten there. It just took a long time. Other people I walked right up. Some people a few minutes. So it really wasn't that bad. And again, I think it's because you're only in that area if that's what you're trying to do. There's still people that are walking around trying to take pictures of celebrities, and they're not getting autographs, things like that. But, there's thousands of people scattered throughout those, that 5 or 6 blocks. So they're not all in one spot like you normally would see. So that's one good aspect. Now, if they had a VIP ticket plus that, I'd be in every year. I'd do an eternal membership for the rest of its existence, and I would do it. And especially now knowing where they have the celebrities, because now I can book a hotel for that specific hotel next year, and it would be okay. I wouldn't have to carry my stuff and walk 5 blocks and that. And if it rained, like my stuff, I would have been stuck in the hotel because I wouldn't have carried my stuff through the town, or through the city, getting wet, So all in all, it wasn't too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and share some of the autograph items that I got. So, you can see if it was worth it or not. So the first thing is this card. Now, this was from another video. It's a Sons of Anarchy prop card with a piece of the pipe used in a very horrible scene on the show. And I had Ryan Hurst sign it. Now, I did apologize to him for signing this because I just felt bad. But he was cool with it, and he said he signed a few at this point. So I went with the green just because I thought it stuck out better than most of the colors I tried. But yeah. The other thing, I started in Steel City Con, and I said I wasn't going to show you till I was done here because I was able to add 3 more actors to this. And so that is my Lucifer print. This is an 11 by 17. It is signed by Tom Ellis. It is signed by D.B. Woodside, who played Amenadiel. Tom Ellis was Lucifer. It is signed by Detective Chloe. It is signed by Maze. And it is also signed by Tom Welling, who played the Cinnamon, who played Kane, and he played Detective Pierce. So it now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signatures with character inscriptions, except D.B. Woodside, who did not sign a Amenadiel. Now, this will be available on the website. It is one of the ones that I am selling. And the reason I'm selling is because I have another one from my own collection. All right, next item is my Lucifer poster. And this is the poster that I said I really, really liked. And now I like it even more with those signatures. Same cast of people. Maze, Detective, Lucifer, Amenadiel. And on this one, he wrote Cinnamon. So, yeah. So I was able to get that done. You have to frame that up and put that in. And then I was able to add to my 24 poster. And I added President Palmer. And I also added Freddie Prinze Jr., who played Cole. And I was also able to add Gina Torres, who played Julia. So those were some good additions. And then for my Sons of Anarchy posters, I was able to add Ryan Hurst, aka Opie. And on this one as well, and I think I had him signed right here above Jack's. So that's all I have for now. Unfortunately, my Lord of the Rings pictures and Hobbit things were done on consignment, so those are with somebody else right now. So when I get those, I'll share them. But for now, that's all I got. I hope you enjoy the pictures of some cosplay. It was a lot to be exposed to and spread out. And I don't know. It was just a lot. I mean, I do a lot of conventions, so there's always tons of people. MegaCon, there's tens of thousands and all that. But this, for whatever reason, because it was spread out, there was a lot of walking back and forth. It was hot, sweaty, you know, with my items and all that kind of stuff. I think it was just a little overwhelming mentally. Plus, I had family coming, so I was thinking about that kind of stuff. And so, yeah. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching this video, and see you next time.